Welcome into the Lounge, presented by DraftKings. We are thrilled to sit down with running back Justice Hill, who's getting ready for a big game against the Cincinnati Bengals, which features his brother, Dax Hill, who's in the secondary for the Bengals. So we'll start there, Justice. Have the text messages started flying between you two? Is the trash talk going?
Yeah, see, he's more of a quiet guy. So I'll call him game week. He won't answer. I call him again. Yesterday, I finally got him on the phone. So, I started talking my stuff. I get a little info from him or something like that. But he wasn't spilling too much, but I tried to pick up on a couple things. So I got a couple things in my pocket.
Okay, does he return serve, or is this just a one-way kind of thing?
Just a one-way thing. He's just taking it, receiving it on the receiving end. He's on the receiving end of that.
Well, I remember last year we tried to get video of you calling him during game week, and he picked up, but it was about a 10-second conversation. Yeah. He's like, I'm not giving you anything.
Right back up. Didn't hear from him for the rest of the week. Man, so we'll see how this one goes. I mean, was able to get him on the phone yesterday, but I might not hear from him until game time.
Is this how it's always been with you two brothers?
I mean, we never really played against each other until we got to NFL, and now we play each other 2-3 times a year. And so it's starting to broil up a little bit, but after we're done, it's all funny games.
Right.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, what is it like if you're on the field and like you see him in a hole, or he tackles you, or like what are you at all thinking about, like, that's my brother trying to come down and tackle me? Like, take me through that.
Not so much. I mean, when you run the ball, you honestly don't know who. Like, you really don't get a good glimpse of who's tackling you. And then you get up, and you really don't notice it until you get on the film. And then last year, there was a couple of times I didn't even know because he's quiet. Like, if I was on defense and I was tackling him, like, he would know.
No doubt.
Like, it would no doubt. I'm talking about stuff right then and there. But yeah, he tackled a couple times. I didn't even realize it till later on. And so, yeah, but it's all fun.
I remember I just went back and looked at this, actually. There was one play in Cincinnati last year where he came off the edge kind of screaming on a blitz.
Oh, yeah.
And you had the chance to pick him up in pass pro. You passed it up and then went out for like a little screen, like a shovel to Lamar. So you had your chance.
Yeah, exactly.
But you won that one.
He didn't want that smoke. But it was a screen already, so I wasn't supposed to be going to block it. So,
exactly.
So it's fun, but we'll see. We're going to have some opportunities this week.
It's awesome.
Well, look, Justice, it's been a big couple of weeks for you. You got the contract extension, and then you had a great game on Sunday against the Bills. How do you kind of put into words the excitement and all that you've been able to enjoy these last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been an exciting time just because I feel like I put in a lot of work throughout my career here, and sometimes it goes unnoticed, or sometimes I just wouldn't get an opportunity. And so I just stayed diligent and continue to work and get better every single week, every single year. And it's just really satisfying, even though I'm still extremely motivated to finally get some play.
Yeah.
How do you look at your role here behind Derrick Henry? I mean, obviously he's Derrick Henry, he's the king, right? But like, you have very much carved out your own niche in this offense, especially as a pass catcher, especially picking up blitzes and all those things, and running the ball really well. What was it like when the Ravens signed Derrick Henry? What went through your head about what your role would be like with this team? Well,
I figured my role would kind of be the same. Just third downs, and whenever they need me, wherever that is, on special teams, running, passing. And but when we signed him, I'm like, yeah, man, this could be fun because he's just going to wear them out and then not come in there and they're a little tired or they beat up from trying to tackle him all game. I can maybe squeeze pod, do a little something extra. So it's been working out pretty well, man. It's been a nice little combination.
That's the understatement of the year. It's been working out pretty well. Yeah, 2 straight games with 270 yards. It's going okay.
Yeah, it's going all right, man. Long way to go. And so, teams are going to start trying to do some things different, but I think we're ready for him.
That was my next question. Is there a feeling inside the room right now that, like, we can't be stopped, or do all right, like, we put up big yards the past 2 games, like, they are going to come down and try to crash down on this run game hard, and we're going to have to pivot and hit them in other ways?
Yeah, I think we always had that mindset of, man, nobody can really mess with us. And obviously people are going to try to do different things, but I think we're just steadily elevating too. We're at the beginning of the season. We're 4 weeks in, 5 weeks in, and we're still getting a feel for things. And so I think as we continue to progress and see different looks and go against different players, different schemes, I think we're just going to continue to get better. So I don't think we've really seen much of anything yet.
How well do you guys complement each other? Like, you talked about, it's nice when you get the ball and they're kind of beat up of trying to tackle Derrick, for much of the game. But how well do you feel like your skill set complements what he does? And is that part of the reason that this offense is having success?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, the coaches are going to always put us in great positions. And I really think we just do a good job of whatever it is, because even the things I'm doing, Derek can still do. And even the things that they're doing, I could still run too. And so, yeah, I think we just complement each other well, and we both work hard. And whenever coaches call our numbers, we're going to go out and perform.
I think one of the most impressive things about you is your pass protection. Really stands out to me, the way that you commit to it, and at your size, you know, you're not the biggest dude out there on the field, but you're putting your nose into that guy's chest,
Yeah,
right?
facts.
And none of them was more evident than Chris Jones blocking 101 with the game on the line twice.
Yeah, twice.
Right? Can you take us through what's going through your head? What was going through your head on that play when you see Chris Jones 101 with you?
Yeah. So first, it was back-to-back the same play call, and it was a play where we had 2 plays up, and it was just loud atmosphere, and he checked the play, but the line didn't get it. And so the first time, it caught me totally offside. Like, I thought I was about to get out to my route, and I just paused for a second, scan, and I just see him coming free. I'm like, well, I don't think Pat going that way, so I might as well step up here and try to do something here. But then the second time, the same exact play call, and the same exact results. And so I was a little bit more ready for the second rush, but, man, I was just glad it made me into a meme or something, tossed me somewhere, man. I'm like, okay, I'm glad he went around trying to take the long way, because it made my job a little easier.
Hey, he didn't want that smoke.
He didn't want that smoke, man.
Is the pass blocking something that you take pride in?
No, definitely, because, I mean, just coming to the league, that was one of the biggest things, just be able to protect the quarterback, because if you can't, you really won't be on the field much. And just be me and my size, too. Like, I just wanted to be able to meet people in the hole, not give them enough space, like try to make an advantage for me, give them a harder time to get to the quarterback, just because there's so much space to get there, and then you got the O-line right in there too. So I use those guys, use everybody, and try to maximize what I can do too. And but yeah, man, I really focused on that, especially coming out of college. It was kind of you just didn't do it much, so you didn't have a lot of reps, and so you weren't the best at it. But then got here, just got more reps, and like anything, more reps you take, the more focus you put on that, you get better.
You know, you talk about coming out of college, and your story is pretty remarkable. You come here as a 4th-round pick, and you know you're now on your 3rd contract here, and you've just continued to improve consistently. But in the middle of that, you also tore your Achilles and missed the season. And a lot of times when a player deals with a serious injury like that, that can be a career ender. You know, it has that potential. But you've just gotten better. Like, you're better now than you've ever been. And I don't think that that's the case for a lot of players, especially it's not the case for a lot of running backs, but like, you just have gotten better consistently. How? Why have you been able to do that?
I think it's just the mindset. That year, I think it was a pivot year for me, because, I mean, the first couple of years, just not being the best system for me, it kind of just wavered my confidence a little bit. And then obviously having the injury, and then just at the cusp of maybe not making a team, do all those things, it's just like a mindset shift of like, man, they about to find out. And so every single day, I just came to work, got my Achilles right. I did a lot extra just to make sure when I came back, I was faster, better than before. And obviously you have all those talks about the Achilles and all these different things, like you never come back the same. But you just ignore those things, man. If you just put it in your mind that you gonna get better, that you gonna be the best you, like nothing's gonna stop you except yourself. And so I just dedicated myself to that, and then each year just being better, faster, and stronger.
Yeah, your second season, I mean, it was a very limited offensive role for you that year. And then when the Achilles happened, can you take us into what went through your mind when that Achilles injury happened? What was going on? How did it happen? And what were you thinking at that moment?
Man, that summer was a little rough, just because we had a great running back room. The first preseason game, I had a high ankle sprain, so I was going to be out for a couple of weeks. Everybody else was doing well. So, like, mentally, it's just, like, taking a toll on you because you're not able to go out there. And then, third preseason game, it was in the locker room, and Harbs came up to me, was telling me, like, I was about to get cut and
wow,
all that stuff.
Really?
And so, yeah, and so, like, I'm just like, oh, I guess I'm going to figure something out somewhere else. And then, unfortunately, JK got hurt, and then came up, was like, yo, this could be a year. And I was like, all right, whatever. And
change like that in the NFL.
Man, course of an hour. And so now I'm still dealing with the high ankle sprain. I'm trying to hurry up and get back just because the season's coming up. And blow the Achilles, just trying to rush back from that, and just really wasn't ready to be out there yet. But then just the just a dog, and you really want to just be out there. And so, just doing too much too fast, and that happened. And so it was a blessing in disguise. Was able to be home for my daughter's birth, and be able to be there for the first, just the whole off season, the off season and during the season, every single day. So I mean, it was definitely a blessing in disguise. But that was a pivot point for me.
Yeah.
So I want to go to back to this conversation in the locker room with Harbs. Like, was he trying to motivate you, or was he more like practical? Like
that was reality, and that wasn't no motivation. That was just like, yo, this is what it is. I mean, because we was in 2 different locker rooms, and down there in Washington, you got the locker room where everybody making the team, and you got the locker room with the practice squad guys and people not making the team, and I was over there. So I was just like, hey, it is what it is. I mean, God not gonna put nothing in your life that you can't handle. And so, I mean, obviously it was gonna be unfortunate because it's COVID year. I was unvaccinated, all these different things, so all these different factors. So it was definitely a moment to just pause and kind of reflect. But everything works out in the better.
Wow. And so when you got back on the field after your Achilles, you were basically like, all right, I'm just about to show you all what's been going down here.
Yeah, because I'm like, man, nobody want me here anyway, so I ain't got nothing to lose. And so I was trying to just go ball. And then, I mean, that was unfortunate, but honestly, that's just been my mindset ever since I came back. I'm like, shoot, nobody want me here, so I'm going to just go ahead and prove everybody wrong.
Wow. And I mean, when you just signed your contract extension, you're like, Baltimore is home. Mm-hmm. So that mentality is very much shifted. Now, it feels like the loyalty that you have to the organization and obviously their loyalty to you, it's really a very strong partnership.
No, definitely. I think when you just go through a journey like that, you go through the ups and the downs, the lows and the highs, you just build that relationship. And so, there's definitely times where I was like a little standoffish, but definitely came around because they still gave me the opportunity. No matter what it was, I mean, I still had the opportunity to go out there and make plays. And so definitely blessed for just getting the opportunity, and even after an injury, getting that opportunity again. So.
That mentality, I remember you came back crazy fast from the Achilles. You got back on the field and it was in spring practice, and everyone was like, wait, Justice Hill's back there? I was expecting to see him until training camp.
Do you remember me? I was saying it earlier. I was like, I swear to God, Justice is faster now than he was before. It was crazy.
Yeah, and even just the first day you took the practice field, I'm like, wait, what? It's May right now or whatever it was.
Yeah, facts. I mean, I was working through it too then at this time because it wasn't 100%. But at that time, man, I was hitting 2,000-3,000 jump ropes a day, man. Just
really?
Even though, I was going crazy just because it was hurting still. Because you get to a plateau point where you've done all the rehab, you get cleared, but it's not 100% yet. And so I'm like, man, I gotta do whatever I can. And so I just was trying to get my spring back. And so just was jump roping all day, every day, every day, especially during that break we got from mini camp to training camp. Literally every single day of that was waking up 5 in the morning, just jump roping for 30 minutes, an hour every morning. And then it would be sore as heck, man. But I was like, man, I'm gonna keep doing it, just keep going, because I got cleared from the doctor. I'm like, okay, I already got cleared, so it's not gonna snap. It's good. I just got to get it strong, and so I just started working, man.
So you were drafted in 2019, as I mentioned, 4th round pick. You're the last guy here from that draft class, and that says something. That's not often the case for a mid-round pick to be the last guy standing from that group. And then even with this running back group, over the course of your career, you've had some high picks. J.K. Dobbins was a high pick, and Gus Edwards was a super productive player. And you have been the last man standing at multiple levels. Is that surprising to you? Is that hard to believe? Do you feel like that's always what you've expected? How do you view that?
I kind of have both sides to it, because I mean, you expect that for yourself. But at the same time, I didn't expect that. Didn't expect
to be conversation with Harbs.
In that moment, he would have had a different answer.
I mean, what? For sure would have. I would have never thought I'd be at this spot right now. And so, man, especially our class, man, we had some good people in that class, good players, solid players, and to just be the last one to stay. I mean, we still had Pat McCarry, but he was undrafted. But we talk about all the time, man, it's just us two, man. We got to hold down for the 2019 class, man. But man, it's been a journey, man.
Can you take me? You talk about the jump rope, which, by the way, you must be really good at jumping rope to do that, man. You probably got the crossover too, don't you?
Everything, man.
Yeah, you got it all.
Double Dutch and everything.
Can you take me a little bit more inside what that rehab process was like? Because it seemed like that and how hard you worked during that time really did make you who you are now.
Yeah. It was just a commitment every single day. from the first day it happened. Coming back from surgery, was here with the training staff, with Mike, and AD wasn't here at the time, but yeah, man, every single day, just working and just buying into the process that they put in place. And I think that's really what it comes down to, is just buying into it, not getting discouraged. You have times where your rehab is going well, accelerating, and then there's times where it just feels like you plateaued and you're getting better isn't happening as fast.
Not making progress.
So your progress isn't happening as fast. And so, yeah, man, it was, for the most part, bro, it was like 99% positive. Like, I never came a bad day. Like, it was always great days. I was always in there smiling, having fun with them, and just buying into the process. And I knew I just had a lot of time, because Achilles, it was like 8 to 12 month recovery, whatever. But I knew I had it early on in the season, so I had the full season, the full off season. So I was never worried about like not being able to come back in time. And so it just allowed me to just work even harder.
Harbs, I asked him yesterday about, what is it about Justice that he's been able to improve over the course of his career so much and so consistently, and he pointed to that attitude that you mentioned, just like dude that comes in here with the right attitude every single day, smile on his face, and just works, and like that's what happens. These are the results. How is that? Just your DNA? Is that a conscious decision? How do you kind of have that attitude?
I think it just comes down to it's controlling what you can control, and for me, I just want to be the best at whatever I'm doing, and I know it's not gonna be great all the time, but if you have a positive mindset about things, you just come in and have good energy, that energy is gonna flow back to you. And so, it definitely, especially early on, I used to come in sometimes just not be in the best places mentally, all those things, and that led on to more like bad things happening, injuries and all these different things. And so since I switched that, it really just a mindset shift, and just shifted that, and all those things kind of went away, and then things got better. And it's just like, okay, even if it's a bad day, just stay positive, and things are gonna work out.
Interesting.
Are you faster now than before the injury?
I think so. Like, I believe so. Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely faster, man. I feel good out there, feeling young, feel better than I did my first like couple years here. And so just taking care of myself better, and recovering, doing great things outside of here to just make sure I'm good. And I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling better than I did when I came in.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's been awesome just to see that development. And, when going back to like this offense, you provide lots of different elements of it, but like your ability as a pass catcher is pretty unique. And like, you were wide open on that touchdown pass on Sunday against the Bills. I mean,
he was only wide open.
I know.
Shook that dude so bad. That's the only reason.
Like, not a lot,
man on skates.
There are not many running backs that can run a route like that.
Facts.
I mean, that's just part of your game. Is the route running piece of it like an area that you put a ton of focus in?
No, that was the fun part of it all, because I've been doing that to them guys for the last 2 years at practice. And I'm like, man, we got to call these in the game, man. And so like, you go against the best players out here, and it just gives you that confidence. It's like, whenever I get in the game and this opportunity show itself, it's gonna be raps. And so, he called a play in the huddle. I was just like, oh yeah, bro, 30. Like, I was like, bro, this is gonna be 30. And so
it's time.
It's time, because it was a couple times last year I had the route, same result. He just didn't get the throw, didn't throw it to me. And so, yeah, man, it was a good time.
Well, what are you thinking? So you put that dude on skates, and then you are wide open. There's nobody even close to you. And as you look back, are you just saying, please throw me the ball? Like, what are you thinking?
I already knew he was, just because we practiced it during the week, and he threw it out like the Saturday practice, the day before he threw it to me. I'm like, yeah, it's on his mind. And so, I see the ball coming, I'm just thinking about what my celebration gonna be. So, I can catch it out, like, okay, let me do my little Baltimore bird flu.
You did it, that's pretty nice.
My little rendition of it. It wasn't exactly what it is. Some folks on my head saying it wasn't it, but I'm like, I just put my little Jay Hill spin on it.
That's funny. Awesome. What's the outlook too with, Keaton's gonna come back eventually, right? Speaking of guys coming back from injuries like you, Keaton's going to be back here, and with how well this running back room is operating right now, what's the outlook on his return and what you can be?
Nah, man. Bro, he's an explosive player, man. And our coach is going to do a great job of being creative and putting everybody in great matchups. And he's going to just be another element that's going to provide explosiveness to our offense, and it's going to be a fun addition. He's working extremely hard right now too. Have the same thing, great mindset in there working. Even though you have some good days, some bad days, like, is going in the right trajectory. And so I'm proud to see what he's doing in the rehab room and on the field. I mean, he's working his way back right now. Obviously, he wants to be good before he comes back, and I want him to be good too.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's going to be fun when we get all these pieces back.
So we were just talking about this yesterday, about the possibility that this is the best Ravens rushing attack ever, right? So that 2019 Ravens group, you all set the single season record for most rushing yards in a season. On pace, through 4 games so far, this team is ahead of that pace.
Really?
Yeah, so pretty crazy, right? A historic pace right now. I mean, what's the mentality inside that room? And I know you're probably not shooting for records in there, but like, do you all look at yourselves and you and Derek look at each other and whatnot, and Pat and all of you guys that are a part of this and say, yeah, you know what? We can be something special.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that before the season started. And just like, yo, if the coaches utilize us all the right way, man, I don't think anybody really can stop us. And even when it comes to the passing game, too, the receivers can do some great things, too. And obviously, with the heavy run game, it's going to open up for those guys, too, as well. And you just got to be patient in it. And, I mean, we just have a great team, man, great players all around, great coaches. And we just getting there better every single day. We come in, we meet, we go to practice, we walk through, and everybody's in the right mind space. And so great things are just going to happen from that.
Along those lines, I know Ryan alluded to this earlier, but there really is kind of a pick your poison element to this offense. Like, you guys have put up so many yards on the ground these last 2 weeks. It's hard to expect you to put up 270 plus yards every week on the ground, but you did it the last 2 weeks. Do you think that defenses will now just be like, all right, we're going to commit all these resources to stopping the run, and then you can adjust off of that and make big plays in the passing game? Like, how do you look at it as an offense in terms of how defenses now are going to play you, given all the success that you've had on the ground?
I mean, we're just going to stick to our identity. We stick to the things that we do well. And whatever the defense gives us, we'll take. I mean, if they want to crowd the box, I mean, I still want to see them stop it, stop the run.
Right.
And then if they do that, you just have opportunities, play action, and things down the field. I mean, you could try to stop it, but I don't know. I mean, we have so many players, so many weapons, so many different schemes that Mink will draw up. Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
You got to stop it first before we stop doing that to you.
I mean, if it's not broke, man, why fix it? So just keep it rolling.
Well, plus when they come crashing downhill, you run that play action, then you put another defender on skates, right? Then you run past the linebacker. And
so, man, hey, it's raps.
I love it. Last question for me, Justice, is what do your parents do in Cincinnati on Sunday with both their boys playing in the same game? How do they treat it?
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, it's just a blessing to have both your sons playing the league, and then being in the same division, just being able to go to multiple games because we played twice guaranteed a year. And so, man, they're extremely excited, extremely blessed and happy for us. And they root for both of us. I mean, they have to. I don't think it's much of a choice. But, yeah, I mean, they supporting us, wanting us to do well. They never say who they want to win or anything like that. I don't think they got any favorites.
You ask them?
No, I ask them. I'm like, yeah, I know we go. We know we go win. Hey, I'm just more the trash talker stuff. So I be talking about stuff. But, yeah, man, they're just happy for us.
That's awesome. Well, I hope you're doing a lot of trash talk during the game and then after the game on Sunday.
I will, for sure.
Cool.
Sure.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man.
All right, now.
Well, thank you to Justice for stopping by the SeatGeek studio here on the Lounge Podcast. We also want to mention our partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. They are an official sports betting partner of the Baltimore Ravens. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. So I thought Justice was awesome, man. He's been an awesome player. He was an awesome interview.
Yep.
And it's been really cool to see the way that he's grown and developed. And as I said to him, there's not a lot of guys that are at their best at the running back position 6 years into their career.
Right.
And he just seems to still be getting better. And I think that's, as we talked about with him, a real testament to all the work that he's put in.
It's also not too common for 2 weeks after a player signs an extension where you're like, all right, this guy's already a bargain. Is he going to renegotiate now? 2 weeks later after the extension? Even John Harbaugh kind of joked about it. He's like, glad we got him under contract before this happened. I mean, he's been one of the Ravens' top weapons on offense. I mean, seriously, when you're looking at the top 3 weapons so far this year, Justice Hill probably makes that list.
Yeah.
And so, really been invaluable. I mean, it's been every time he gets the ball, making guys miss, just breaking the angles, just making defenders look bad with how quick he is. And he's just a good player.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that makes him so valuable is that, yes, he's more of the third down back who's more of the receiving back, but he can run between the tackles if you ask him to.
Yeah.
He can pass block. So when he comes on the field, it's not a telegraph of like, okay, here, this is a clear play to him, or this is
they're clearly throwing the ball.
Like, it doesn't mean that. And so he can do it all.
Yeah.
And that route running ability and hands that he possesses, that he has, that is a rare ability and a rare skill for his position. So the Ravens can use that to their advantage. And like we talked with him at the end, I just think it's going to be really interesting with this receiving, or with this offense as a whole, how they adjust, what changes, especially as these defenses, maybe they put more resources, they get bigger, they try to dedicate more to stopping the run. I'm with him. Make him stop it first.
Right. That's kind of the funny thing is, like, you know, in years we've gone down this road before, right? Where the Ravens pile up a bunch of rushing yards during the regular season, and then they've gotten to the postseason, and the other team has put the clamps on the running game, and it's like, can you beat them through the air? And the Ravens have fallen short. Like, we've seen this before, right? But so part of me thinks, like, all right, yes, you have to be able to do that, right? Like, eventually they're going to stop this, and you have to be able to hit them in the air, right, through the air. But then another part of me is like, has the Ravens' rushing attack just gotten so good that it just can't be stopped? That's the question right now, right? Is it so good that it can't be stopped? Because they've never had a back like Derrick Henry. Justice Hill is playing the best football of his career, okay? Keaton Mitchell, once he's back, is going to add another home run threat to this backfield. So, like, you know, I think the big question was the offensive line, but it's coming together. It's getting better, and it's only going to continue to get better. You have Patrick Ricard, who's this unique weapon. Like, can it be stopped?
Well, not the last 2 weeks.
Right, exactly. That's the question. I mean, eventually you're going to see more and more and more resources come, and we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like the way he laid it out. Make him stop it first. Like, let's just
agreed. Let's
just confirm. Let's just make sure that you can stop it.
Right, and then it's, can you stop it consistently? Right? Like, can you do it for 4 quarters when Derrick Henry's leaning on you in 4 quarters and Justice is gashing you with his speed? That's the other question, right? Maybe you can do it for the first 2. Can you do it for 4?
Yeah, I think that the Ravens have this offense has so many different routes they can go. Yeah, and I do think there's going to be times maybe you fall behind early, whatever it is.
Exactly. Like, game script definitely
can dictate
plays
things
into that,
and you need to be able to lean on the passing game, 100%. Or you need to lean more on the play action game. Whatever it is, you need 100%. To spread them out more.
Yep.
And so, like, there's different, and you need to be, and you need to have that in your arsenal. And I think that the Ravens do have that in their arsenal, but I'm with you and with Justice, basically, like, make them stop it first. Right. And I think that that'll be part of the story of this team and this offense, especially here for the next several weeks, as we see a huge game against Cincinnati. It's going to be fun for him.
Yeah, definitely a fun one, and a team that has not really stacked up well against the run yet this season. Yeah. So another game, you know, where you're like, all right, let's see. It could be a similar game script. That hopefully it is for the Ravens, but I'm sure that Justice Hill and Derrick Henry are going to have some opportunities.
Yeah, so we're going to continue to talk about that game coming up against the Bengals on Sunday in Cincinnati. We are going to have a podcast where we really dive into the topics of the week and break down that upcoming game against the Bengals. That top podcast is going to come out for you on Friday morning, so you can listen to that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and we will be back with you on Friday.